I ain't got to do this. But now, as a preacher, too, you wind up in some strange situations as a preacher. I mean to tell you, I majored in religion and psychology when I was in college. People say that's a volatile mixture. No, it's not, because the craziest people you will ever meet in your life are in the church. I promise they are. Some of the craziest people you will ever encounter are in the church. I promise. The other day I was downtown in the town I live in, and I went in this little cafe, and I looked down, and there was this guy that I thought it was this guy. I looked at him and I thought, his name's Buddy. And Buddy's visited our church a few times and everything, and I thought, well, it looks like him. I think it is. So I walk up and I sit down on a stool, and I'm kind of looking down because I want to make sure it was him. I'm looking down, sure enough, it's Buddy. It sure is. And I think, well, I'm going to slide down there and talk to him. So I slide down a little bit, and when I get close to him, I realize, man, Buddy is fuming. He's... I thought, good grief. I started looking at him. I thought, what happened to him? His whole head was wet. Top of his head was just soaking wet. I was looking, I thought, good night. And then as I got closer, I realized there was like little trickles of blood on his face. I thought, oh my goodness, what happened to him? And his knuckles were just busted up and they bleeding, all blood down on his arms and everything. Looked terrible, and he's just fuming, so mad. I said, Buddy, what happened to you? And when he gets real worked up, he can't talk very good. He said, I am so mad. I said, yeah, man, I can figure that. So I can tell that. But what happened to you? He said, this evening I was just walking down the street. I'm minding my own business. And all of a sudden this woman, real pretty woman, walk up to me. She said, hey, Buddy, you want to come up to my apartment? Maybe we have a little kissy. And I said, Buddy. And he said, no, I told her no. I said, that's good. He said, but then she said, please. And I said, okay. I said, oh, Buddy. And he said, no, I just going to go up there and not do it. We get up there, we get into her apartment in there, and there's little kissy going. All of a sudden she said, oh, no, it's my husband. You got to hide. I said, you didn't tell me you got no husband. Yeah, I got a husband. You got to hide. I said, well, that would have made me mad. And Buddy said, that ain't what made me mad. He said, then she froze open the window and said, you got to climb out on the windowsill. I said, well, that done made me mad. That ain't what made me mad. He said, then I climb out on the windowsill. I'm standing there. All of a sudden, her husband froze open the window. He grabbed my pant leg and he started shaking, trying to throw me off a windowsill. I said, well, that would have made me mad. That ain't what made me mad. He said, then I found I'm hanging like this. I'm hanging on for my dear life. And he said, the next thing I know, he climbed up on the windowsill and he spit all over my head. I said, well, that'd have made me mad. That ain't what made me mad. I said, good grief. What? He said, then he take his cowboy boots and he starts stomping on my fingers and hands. And I'm just hanging there and he's stomping and it's just hurting so bad and I can't really stand it. I said, well, that ain't what made me mad. He said, then he reached down and he bit me right on the head. That showed my face all bleeding. He bit me right on my head. I said, surely that had to be what, that ain't what made me mad. I said, Buddy, this guy spit on you, tried to throw you off a ledge. He stomped your fingers. He bit you on the head. And that ain't what made you mad? That ain't what made me mad. Then what made you mad? It made me mad when I looked down and seen I built that far off the ground.